Sonic Heroes is one of those games where you love it, but you kind of question the game sometimes on where the story is going to go and where it is going to progress through the story. And it's one of those games that is also like really repetitive, and we all know that. But this video, we're going to be talking about specifically the stories in this game. We're going to be talking about Team Sonic, Team Dark, Team Rose, and Team Chaotix. We're going to be talking about which story is better in the game, but what if I told you that there is one story in this game that exceeds all of them and it's the best? And this video, we're going to be talking about all that, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. So let's start with Team Sonic. Oh wait, no, not this one. There we go. I almost had a heart attack there. And for Team Sonic story-wise, they start off their adventure with Sonic and running through the hills and everything and loop-de-loops, and as Tails and Knuckles show up, they tell Sonic that they got a letter from Eggman, or quote-unquote Eggman, and Sonic reads the letter and it says, or Eggman reads the letter out loud, and he says that he's gonna make the ultimate weapon in 3 days, and so Sonic and his friends have to hurry up, race against time, and get Eggman and defeat him once again. So they go through the Seaside Hill and Ocean Palace, and then after that, you use Knuckles to defeat Eggman and go ham on him. And then that's what you do to defeat Eggman, basically. And you go to Grand Metropolis next. Grand Metropolis and Power Plant. So you use overpowered Tails to defeat Team Rose. So Sonic and his friends go through the next stages, which is Casino Park, Bingo Highway, and then after that they experience Eggman again, and then they go through Bullet Station and Rail Canyon. So and then after that they experience Eggman after that once again. Then they go through the next world, which is Frog Forest and Lost Jungle, and then after that they experience Team Dark, and then so they face it off. Team Sonic wins, of course. You gotta progress through the story, and then you go to Hang Castle and Mystic Mansion. And guess what? Reversing Eggman once again for a third time in a row. And so Sonic and his friends actually find Eggman's fleet. And so they go through the first level, which is called Egg Fleet, and then Final Fortress, which is the final base where Eggman is. And so you battle it out with Egg Emperor, and we get the final cutscene for Team Sonic, and it talks about where Sonic and his friends finally defeat him, and they don't realize that it's just a fake Eggman. And so Tails realizes that it's fake, and so Tails realizes this, and so they all run away, and Neo Metal Sonic pops up from the liquid that you see right here in this cutscene. How disgusting. And he says transfer data has been copied, or whatever. He's copied their fighting skills and everything. And so that's really the end of Team Sonic. Team Rose. And so the beginning of Team Rose, Amy, Big, and Cream are all just having a fun time and goofing off. And then Cream comes to Big and Amy wondering where Froggy and Chocolat is. And so Amy tells them, let's not goof around anymore, basically, and let's head on out and let's try to find them. And so they go off on their own adventure, and then rinse and repeat basically what Team Sonic did, going through the worlds, defeating Eggman, going and versing 2 teams. And at the end, for Team Rose, after defeating Egg Emperor, they find Froggy and Chocolat, and Amy then find Sonic, and then that ends basically Team Rose. So let's go to the next team, Team Chaotix. And so we boot off their story with Charmy, SBO, and Vector all just chilling around, waiting for their next job, waiting for jobs to appear so they can earn money and build their job or whatever they're doing. And then they get a mail, or at least Charmy barges into the room and says, we got mail. And it's a video recorder of Eggman telling them what to do and telling them that they have a job and that they need to complete a lot of tasks to basically end their levels. Basically, it's how the levels work is that it's different than all the other teams. You have to complete different tasks within each level, and then that's pretty much it. But you defeat the same bosses and 2 teams, and at the end of defeating Egg Emperor, so after they defeat Egg Emperor, they go into this little base where Eggman is, and they open the door, or beat up the door, and they finally find Eggman just sitting there with the walkie-talkie in front of him and telling them that they knew it was Eggman all along, and that it's just what a good detective is. And they tell him that, and then Eggman kind of tells them that, hey, it was me all along, don't think it was a scam or anything. And then Charmy just goes up to Eggman and be like, you lying Eggman, and then just beats him up. And so you see Charmy beat up Eggman, and then we come to the very last story, which is the best in my opinion. And I think I've seen a lot of you guys like I made a tweet about it and a vote on which story is the best. A lot of you guys actually say Team Dark, actually. On Twitter, you guys see Team Dark, and then on YouTube, it is Team Sonic. But I think that's just kind of biased because of Team Sonic, because Sonic's in there. But I think Team Dark, in my opinion, is the best story, and I'll tell you why right now. In the beginning of their story, Rouge finds a hidden base and finds Shadow in a capsule, releases him. While Omega sees this happening, Shadow then tells Rouge to get down, and Shadow and Omega fight and duke it out, each time for like 5 seconds. Rouge then gets in the way and gets them to stop fighting and tells them that they need to find Eggman and become a team. And that's what they do. Now, in this beginning, we get an action scene compared to the other beginning stories. Then, just like the other teams, they go to different worlds, fight Eggman, and verse 2 other teams. But when Rail Canyon comes and goes, Shadow then faces up against Eggman and realizes that it's just a robot Shadow just sitting there. And then he contemplates on if he really is a robot or not for the rest of the story. And then at the end, will actually shock you if you haven't played the games already. But if you haven't, then it will shock you. And then they finish off Egg Emperor. After that happens, the scene that makes this story already better is that Rouge enters a room to what seems like 100 million other robot Shadows. Rouge then tells us that she's known that Shadow was a robot this whole time, but that makes us wonder, this whole time, were we a robot Shadow? Or is this the real deal Shadow? But Omega says that the real Shadow has to be here somewhere, and so Rouge exits out of the building and then talks to Shadow. But the whole robot Shadow thing. But that continues the story into Shadow the Hedgehog 05. And so this whole story for this just tells us more about Shadow's story, and it just brings more lore into this, and this is why I think Team Dark is the best story in Sonic Heroes. So let me know what you guys think down below. Which team is the best team in this story-wise in the game? And don't get me wrong, also, I love all the team stories and everything, but I just think Team Dark is the cherry on top. It's just so much better because it brings more lore, and it brings more life into the story, because all the other stories, they're just several lines of dialogue, and that's really it. And then you got the end story, which the end story that continues the story and ends the game, but that's not part of the story. And so Team Dark is my favorite. And let me know what you guys think down below of this, and let me know if you guys like this video. I wrote a script for this, and this was one of my first videos that I did a script on, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, let's go!